three of us should do it together.
People don't even know there is a guest, child.
That's how we should, for guests moving forward, they should just come in on the Yizzo, and that's how they know.
All right, ready? Try it again. Ready?
Come on, Monty. Oh, damn it.
You had one job and you couldn't do it. Keep it in, Monty. Fuck it. 1, 2, 3.
Yes, Yizzo! I love that idea. Y'all, we have a special guest this week. Shout out to Monty. He's the king behind the scenes, but we putting him front and motherfucking center on this Monday. Monty is the official audio editor of Around the Way Curls podcast. He's producer and host of the People Talking podcast. He's Harlem born, Jersey raised, Willie P alumni, tech savvy, red wine drinker, fuck the white wine, right? Music lover, rap nerd, Android defender. I support that.
God.
Sarcastic, self-described sarcastic, and a type A nigga. Hi, Monty.
Hey.
Hey, Monty.
How you doing? Do you mind if I do my AKs?
Oh, please.
I mean,
don't let us stop you.
Podcast. Hey guys, me and my Styles, AK Styles, baby little AK Monster Merlot, Styles, Malbec, Quarantine Tank, sometimes Styles, thighs are out like loud, fallback, you know that one time is one time, pretty good Styles, most time. Sock Daddy, audio side, knock at the motherfucking files. Yeah, I'm here.
Monty, that was another language, first of all.
Y'all like Busta Rhymes. What's that one rhyme where he was like
Look at me now.
All right,
because he's a rap nerd and he knew exactly what it was. It came out in '98.
I do talk a little fast. I try to slow it down sometimes. It's all written down somewhere, so if you ever want those AKs, it's available for you. But I'm here. I appreciate you guys letting me on. It's been a fun journey so far, and we'll learn some more.
Monty shady on the low. You know what?
He's self-described sarcastic. Okay.
Yeah,
let's get to the last line. I guess you said I said type A nigga just because somebody brought it to my attention that I'm type A, and that somebody was Shanti, because I never knew all my life. I never knew. I never knew.
Monty, that's crazy that you didn't know you were type A.
What did you think was going on? How would you describe yourself?
I think
fair.
I think the older I got, I think maybe I started getting more into my ways. But I feel like I was just chill. But it made sense when you said it. I was like, that's me. That makes sense.
Let me tell you something real quick. We all know Antoinette and my personality types, but we record. We have to make notes. We're a team here. We have writings, and after we put out an episode, we often get a text or an email. Actually, that was the wrong date, the wrong time, the spelling of it. Did you mean to spell this incorrectly in your time? Did you mean to not know what you were talking about in episode 329? Just checking. I can fix it. And Antoinette, who prides herself in catching all the things, is often like, oh my God, I can't believe that this happened. I'll go back and fix it. Just watching the two of them.
You know, Antoinette's behavior, I know, it's such a strong word. Antoinette's personality sometimes bleeds on through the text sometimes, and I get timid. So I really take a long time devising some of those emails because I'm like I say grace a lot. I know I've said that word a lot through the emails, and I mean that like, hey, it's okay, it's all right, and I mean it with no disrespect, no shame.
What personality? What is coming through?
She's just keeping it 100. She said, okay.
Let's Monty answer. Don't try. Let me hear from Monty real quick. What's coming through in the text, King?
My camera froze. No, I think you just you be hard on yourself, and you know that. Just be a little hard on yourself, and I feel like sometimes I say a little thing, and I just wanted to. It's not a big deal, but when you bring it back, it feels like it's the biggest deal, and I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. So that's kind of what I'm saying.
I think
That
I've
makes
been
sense.
better.
You've been great. You've been much better. Much better.
Okay, good. Thank you, Monty. Thank you
This
for
is off
seeing
to
me,
an
King.
awkward, rough start. I hope that this works itself out.
Listen.
What are your updates, Annoying?
Oh, God. So, Antoinette and I met earlier this week at the top of the week on Monday to begin shipping out. We actually have shipped out the first order of all the merch, so you should have gotten
First
your
wave.
shipping notifications or should be coming your way. But we had to meet very early in the morning, 6 a.m. I'm lying, 7 a.m. I dropped my daughter off, went straight to the studio. Antoinette met me a little bit later, and
Why did I meet you a little bit later?
Because you slept in a little bit longer.
Well, why was I up all night? Are you going to tell the people that I was up tripping till 3:30 in the morning texting you while I was still at your house?
Keep that in the back of the house.
Okay.
Oh.
Antoinette was doing some admin work.
A barrage of texts.
Meanwhile, I'm in her house doing admin work, freaking out at 3:30 in the morning while I'm watching her sleep. Like, oh my God.
Texting me while I'm sleeping. Because she's like, I can't forget this in the morning. I have to make sure that I go. Like, as if she's not going to see me in 4 hours. Can't forget this. I go, what?
It's on my mind then. Anyway, go ahead.
So she's like, she calls me. She's like, Shanti, I got us bagels. I got us some tater tot hash browns, and I got you a coffee. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, no. Coffee is one of the most intimate things that you can prepare for somebody else, right? If somebody's like, oh, I'm gonna buy you a coffee, I'm gonna make you a coffee, I often am very scared because it's not often that they get it right on the first, second, third. Sometimes they never get right. And then I realized that coffee preparation is like oral sex. It's equivalent to oral sex. Maybe not for a man, because a man will like get what he wants to get. Like a nigga will take a Wawa kind of coffee. Maybe.
You think that?
Maybe. But
said from a mediocre head giver. That's what I'm calling you out.
Maybe. But it feels like making coffee is like oral sex in a way, because it has to be, everybody has their particular pressure. Some people like it, concentrate in a certain area. Some people like it in a different area. It's very, very personalized thing. And you have to know somebody well. You have to be in practice and relationship somebody well to make a coffee. And I've only had one person make me coffee exactly how I like it. Because if you just say, oh, I like sugar and cream, how much sugar and cream? What kind of sugar? What kind of cream? It's what kind of coffee? Antoinette got me Wawa coffee.
Wait.
I would never drink Wawa coffee.
I don't drink coffee. I didn't know.
I know. You just don't know. It takes a while to like be in relationship. You have to ask this person. It's just an intimate
Your favorite
thing.
coffee is blue something.
No, my favorite coffee in New York is, I don't even know the name of it. It's blue. I don't know. I just know when I go into the train station.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Where to find it. But I just feel like I don't need any. In the future, you don't have to ask. I'll always
First of
get
all,
my own
I'm going to
coffee.
learn how to make your coffee. What are you even saying?
I don't know.
Monty, what do you think about this?
I'll see, but
It does take a minute to get that coffee order right. Shout out to my girlfriend. She tried to give me the sugars, because she put like 4, 5, 6 sugars in that thing, and I'm a bland nigga, so I just give me 2 sugars. I'm fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cream and sugar. How many sugars? It could be 7, 2, 1.
Sugars, a dash of cream. Yeah.
A dash.
particular.
See, Shanti likes
It's a
more than
color.
a dash. She
Yeah,
likes
it's a color.
The color of her skin. That's how the coffee
yes.
is.
Brown.
I do know that.
Can't see it.
You're drinking coffee. Black is easy. Black is simple. But I also had somebody that drank black coffee, but it was the type of coffee that he drank that would get. Anyway, that was a revelation that I had. I'm also finished watching Griselda on Netflix. And I was really into it. I was really excited. It's a story about a woman in the 70s and 80s, all the way up to the 2000s. Actually, she was running things. If you go read more her backstory, but she's from Colombia, and she ran the cocaine distributions to Miami and New York, and it's played by Sofia Vergara. I don't know how to say her name. The lady from
Sofia Vergara.
She did an excellent job. Did you watch it, Monty?
I did. She did do a great job. That's the one takeaway I will take away.
It got really good and then not so good, right?
It got silly at the end, and yes. I was like, throw the baby away. I don't want this no more. It got real silly. It was you watch so many drug movies and TV shows. You know they're not gonna get away. You know it's gonna be done. You know you're gonna be locked up or dead or whatever the case is. And I know about the story a little bit. I do love the intro of the Pablo intro of just saying I never feared anybody else more than this woman. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brought you in. It's like, oh, okay, let's see what's going on. It was good. Shout out to Karol G. She did an amazing job. Never listened to her music like that, but she did an amazing job. And it was good, but at the end,
it went from good to not very good. But it's all in Spanish, which requires you to be very present. Like most of the time, I would be listening. You watch a show, but you're looking on your phone. You watch a show, but you're doing something. You cannot do that. You have to sit and be present and read the subtitles.
You gotta be tuned in.
It sparked me to want to learn how to go back to my. It sparked me to want to go back to my Spanish and practice and learn, because I was like, I understand a little bit of this shit a little bit. So
my girl is Black and Puerto Rican, and we were talking about it. We argued about it for a second because she loved it all the way through, and I'm like, oh, you could just do whatever you want because you speak fluent Spanish. Right. You're fine. I'm tapped in, tuned in. Right. I can read very well, so it's fine. But I was working at the same time. I'm like, well, it's either work or Griselda. I chose Griselda.
I was watching it with a friend, and he can't watch it, and I had to get him to admit, I'm like, no, you actually aren't finishing it because you can't concentrate. You don't want to read, and you can't actually concentrate, and then you get lost, you get frustrated. So maybe I'll just watch all movies in Spanish so that I have to be present, and that's my takeaway. So coffee, dick suck, all things in Spanish. Go ahead, Antoinette.
I don't have much. I mean, as you heard, I was at Shanti's house Monday and being crazy Monday, very early morning. And so I was so tired. And I crawled in the bed with Shanti, and I couldn't sleep. And Shanti has a very nice comforter now. The bed's comfortable, pillow on deck. It's nice. But your girl was snoring. She was snoring. And so it was so interesting to me because Shanti was so shocked that she was snoring. Like, I said something to her that evening. I woke her up. I tried so hard. I gently rubbed her. And she shoots up, and I was like, Shanti, you're snoring. She shoots up, and she goes, what? And I was like, it's the way you did it. Because you were like, what? I'm snoring? Because she was half still asleep. Because I asked her if she remembered what she said to me the next day, and she said no. She goes, what? And I said, you're snoring. And she said, that is really shocking to me because I don't feel that in my body. I was like, what? Who says that? And then she proceeded to roll right back over and get busy with snoring again. But she was like, I don't feel that in my body. That's very shocking to me.
Did she fall asleep quick?
I think she was still asleep when she said it. That's why it was so funny. Because within an instant, she was right back to the same thing that she didn't feel in her body. And I was like, oh my God, it was so loud.
Open mouth, drool, and everything.
I mean, she was but she had her back to me. And so I was just like looking at her so irrationally angry because she was like, me? I don't feel, that is shocking. I don't feel that. But her eyes were open. She was looking at me when you said it. I don't feel that in my body. I was like, okay. This girl. There's nobody like her in the world.
That is so funny.
And the next day I said, do you remember? And you were like, yeah, you said I was snoring. I said, do you remember what you said? And you were like, I said something. What did I say? I said, no, I'll save it for the podcast.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that was like a really good moment. And I think that we worked together very well doing the packing. That was the fastest we've ever done it. And it was smooth. I felt good. Did you feel good?
I did.
I said, look at us, occupying the same space. No fights, no bickering. Who would have thought? Look at us.
We don't fight or bicker anyway.
We have our little moments, not where we're fighting, but we'll be like,
we
okay,
got to an
Antoinette.
escape room, dog. Like,
okay, we're not going back to the escape room. And then finally, I'm just this week is just a very busy week. I'm just very overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm doing for my job outside of my actual job for Black History Month. I'm like doing a vocal set, which is hilarious to me, with a whole bunch of people who used to play music, who like are, we get it together. We're getting it together, but it's just funny. There's been a lot of rehearsals. This has been quite the ask, and I did not know that it was going to be this involved. I wasn't asked to do it. I was told I was doing it, so that's another thing. But yeah, it's that, and then I'll be back in Philly Friday for some family stuff. So it's like a lot of back and forth. I'm tired, but I also just want to say, if y'all are not following Around the Way Curls on Instagram, you should, because I am getting these motherfucking reels, these clips together. Look at Monty's face. If Monty's smiling, that he's seen it and he appreciates it a little bit. Monty, they look way better, right?
Yeah, listen, I don't have a strong poker face, so yeah.
Okay, see, you told me. So if Monty co-signed it, I feel good about it. But anyway,
when your top lip disappeared, I know you meant that shit. So it was.
All right, see, he's shiny. That's all right. Now they're gonna hear what we doing.
We're gonna reel you. You got real animated. I liked it. It was good.
No, I'm very proud. I'm very happy. So,
can I share something?
How are you, Monty? What's new?
Yeah.
I'll be quick because I said this at length on my podcast, People Talk Podcast. Biggest thing that happened, it was my girlfriend's birthday. So, shout out to her.
She's a Pisces?
Oh, Pisces.
Oh, yeah, it's Pisces season. I am a Pisces. Our
Your
birthday's
birthday's coming up, Monty. When's your birthday?
March 11th.
Your birthday is March 11th?
Mm-hmm.
When we get off of here, I'm going to tell you somebody else's birthday is March 11th.
That's
it
beautiful.
Ain't nobody business on here.
Oh my God,
that's beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, our birthday is 2 weeks apart. So it's really her birthday is my birthday is her birthday. We really wanted to I wanted to go to a basketball game. Like, I wanted to go to the Knicks game specifically, because they're actually doing good. So I wanted to go to the Knicks game, and she'd never been to a basketball game. So I said, you know what, YOLO, let's do this. And I bought tickets. It was prime time. It was Celtics. It was the Knicks.
Oh, that's a good game.
It was broadcasted on ABC. So I'm telling you what to let you know, it was expensive.
Yes, it was.
Bought both those tickets. We went to a hotel for the weekend and just chilled out, enjoyed the city. We had a beautiful skyline view from Weehawken, New Jersey. Because I'm not getting a hotel in New York, because why would I do that?
It's not worth it.
It's not. And I was very proud of her, man. We did a lot of walking. We've been together for, our anniversary is actually also March 3rd, so it's been a full year of us actually being
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Okay.
Pisces, y'all would love them. Two Pisces together, what an entanglement.
We swimming. We
Happy
swimming.
birthday today.
Yay!
Yeah,
I met her.
so,
She's
that
super
was-
sweet. Super sweet.
Yeah, you did
very,
meet her.
very, a very cute girl. Y'all look good
Appreciate
together.
Get married. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey man, that's the biggest update though. Work from home as much as I can because nobody wants to go to the office.
Ciao.
Yeah, love my bed.
Well, happy early birthday and happy belated birthday to the boo.
Thank you.
Oh. Shanti, can you take us into some
Hey, if you're listening to this podcast and you're enjoying it, if you've been listening for a while, you're an OG, or you're just new to the community, we really would appreciate if you shared your experience. Feel free to rate, review, share, and subscribe this with your community, your network. It helps people learn about us. It helps people decide if they want to listen to us. We have a high rating on Apple, and when I buy shirts, I want to see what the quality is, and then I buy it. So it really does go places. It's helpful, and it's a way for you to support us. So please consider doing that right now. You can do it on Spotify as well if you're listening from that.
Please do it on
platform.
Spotify. Spotify's on the come up these days. So
All right. And we also would invite you to become a patron, a supporter on our Patreon. This is where you can see video content. You can see Antoinette, myself, and Monty, our backgrounds, our outfits, our facial expressions. It just makes for a full, immersive experience. Trust me, you want to see it. It's a tiered subscription. Within this membership, you also have access to exclusive content that is not available anywhere else. So please join us at www.patreon.com/AroundTheWayCurls. Shout out to the new patrons. Nasia, Jasmine, Nikki, and Emily. Boop, boop, boop.
also, just so folks know, we are in the process of revamping our Patreon. So there'll be some exciting announcements coming on that front, hopefully by the end of next month. And we will be announcing the Patreon kickback for March on our next episode. We also just want to encourage folks to Monty, cut this out. We also want to encourage folks to join us on Discord. And Discord is a great place for the community to come together, chat. I just wanted to shout out some very active and very thoughtful Discord members. AJ, Rubes, Charmazing, Old Trev, and Miss Simon specifically. On Discord, we have channels there where people can just talk about stuff generally speaking. You can let us know different topics that you're interested in us covering. There's an affirmation channel, there's a sports channel, and there's also a current episode, latest episode channel where you can talk specifics about that. And I love to sneak. I kind of hover. I don't hover, but I am that weirdo, just peeking in to see what folks are chatting about. And I just love to see that our community is engaging with one another. So it's very, very dope. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all. Let's take a break.
Let's
take a quick break.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Boo. All right.
Phlegm in my throat.
Is this normally supposed to be uploading like this the whole time?
Yep.
Okay, that's probably why I was a little glitchy, but I'm sure everything will be fine when it's done.
Yeah,
Is it
on the
still
other
delayed
end,
for you?
it comes together. It's still
Sorry?
delayed for you sometimes?
Sometimes.
Okay.
It's like it tosses up between both you guys, but I think it's just the uploading.
Okay. Yeah, because it uploads just in case something happens, so you have what it is, what you've recorded.
Yeah, everything was smoothed out. I know the deal.
All right. You ready, Shani?
Yep.
And we are back with Hot Shit. So we would like to shout out friends of the pod, Miss Good Moms, Bad Choices. They are coming to the East Coast. They're doing another tour. These ladies be working, child. Their tour kicks off March 13th in Philadelphia, and it is an amazing night. So definitely want to encourage folks to check them out. They also have a March 16th show here in New York of the cities that I will be at. And if you are interested, you want to get ready for an hilarious, sexy, and unforgettable evening where anything goes. The Good Moms, Bad Choices hosts, Ms. Erica and Mila, have created a liberated and shame-free space on their weekly podcast, and their live show holds absolutely nothing back. They say that the night is filled with bold choices, naughty secrets, and surprise guests. Erica and Jamila intentionally push boundaries on their nationwide tour, and this will be the ultimate girls' night you won't soon forget. I also know a lot of people that go on dates there as a bit of a form of foreplay, so I encourage that as well. But make sure you check them out at goodmomsbadchoices.com to secure your tickets and to see other tour dates there. And we weren't paid for that. We just fucked with them. So make sure y'all go check it out. We wouldn't say it if we did it. Also, Shanti, we didn't talk about this. Curb Your Enthusiasm's final season is out, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't the energy. That's not the energy I gave you.
I apologize. I haven't gotten into it. I'm sorry. I have yet to get into it.
Me
and that's maybe
neither.
something I should, because I think
it's something we should do together. Do you think?
Yeah. Want to?
Yeah.
You know I love Larry.
I know
I love
you
that
do.
show.
And it's the last go round. I do want to say, today we're recording this February 28th. Rest in peace to comedian Richard Lewis. He passed away today.
R.I.P. I know Larry's messed up about it. Longtime friend. Just a wonderful character on the show as well.
So good. I wonder, Monty, do you know if he was in the final season?
No idea. Wasn't he like in the very first episode of On the Curve though? Like I know he's been there.
I think he was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just got that news today. He passed away.
I know that last season he wasn't really in it. He was only in it for one episode. He made like an appearance because he was dealing with his health issues. But I hope that we got some sort of cameo from him or something. But you could tell looking at him that he was having some issues and wasn't doing that well. But what a legacy that he has, and rest well, bro.
76 years old.
Yeah, 76. That's still, since I'm about to be 37, 76 feels real young.
I don't know what old is anymore. Everything feels young. Everything feels young. We say it's so young. It's like, what is old? 100?
Yeah, that is old.
I think that's where we're getting.
100 is like, all right, I'm done. Get me the fuck out of here.
I feel like 90, even 80s. Like my mom is very close to 80, and I'm like, girl,
but your mom
so full of like
young. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, age is a feeling, but I'm good with the 80 if I check out here. 80's okay.
80 is too young for me. I want a longer. I want at least 87, 89. For some reason, 88. I don't like it. It's too even. It feels like there needs to be an odd to really get it done.
Well,
I don't know why. Don't ask me.
Wow, interesting theory here.
Anyway, Shanti's not giving me the energy I want. Next up. Politics as usual. Wow. Shanti, take us into this, please.
Aaron Bushnell sets himself on fire in protest of Palestinian genocide. This young man was an airman, and in an act of protest, he went in front of the Israeli... sorry, I thought you were going to handle all this part. I was going to handle the back end, to be completely honest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me... We can start over.
Yeah, can we do that over again?
Yeah. Sorry, Monty.
Real time.
Cut that out, Monty. Cut that out.
I didn't know those links. I don't know if you did. You didn't look at those either.
I mean, yeah, he's in front of the Israeli, what is that called?
Embassy?
Help me. Embassy.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we sure?
In
Let's make sure.
DC, he did it. The Israeli embassy. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Politics as usual. Wow. So this is sad, but a complete act of bravery. I hope people have heard, but I'm not shocked that this did not get the media coverage that I think it so deserved. Aaron Bushnell, he was an active duty member in the Air Force, and he, this past Sunday, walked up to the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., and he set himself on fire. He recorded this, and he said that he can no longer stand by and watch the U.S. Basically be complicit in the genocide of the Palestinian people. And while during the video, as he is engorged in flames, he's yelling, "Free Palestine," until he can no longer. He's only 25 years old.
While military is aiming a gun at him to do what?
Yeah,
Who knows?
Because he's outside the embassy, so it looks like, they're like thinking that he's a threat, yada, yada, yada. I think this is he said he put things in place. He knew exactly what he was going to do. He had written instructions for how he wanted his cat taken care of. His friends. I was listening to a really great piece, and I encourage folks to listen to it. I'll put the link in here for the description, Shanti, and also we'll put it on Patreon. It's short. It's about 12 minutes on Al Jazeera, where they were interviewing the person who actually put this onto social media, and she had conversation with some of his friends. And they were saying that he was always very, not politically motivated, but motivated and activated in liberation for all people. And that this was something very dear to him, very important to him, and that they were worried that he was going to be presented to the media as crazy and dismissed in that way. And so I was really interested when I saw this to see what the media coverage was and wasn't. And I just want to read a couple of other people's takes, if that's okay. I believe her name is Hayat on Twitter. She said the media ran fake stories about beheading babies, yet I guarantee you that there will be a media blackout on Aaron Bushnell. Charles Preston says the military man who self-immolated, I think that's how you say it, immolated, wanted the world to see him burn in protest for a free Palestine. His protest exposes the police's violent response, gun pointed at him while he was on fire, and raises a contradiction. His video won't be viral like police shooting videos. He purposely live streamed it and notified the press. We saw live news stations play videos of the killings of Laquan McDonald, George Floyd, and so many others. Will they roll the footage of a white U.S. soldier who wanted to be seen self-harming while shouting "Free Palestine"? If not, why? And a lot of people go on and on. The image of the officer while this man is burning, they blurred out the body. But the officer is pointing the gun, standing over the burning body, pointing the gun at him, as if it reminds me of the acorn that fell on the fucking cop car. We didn't cover that here, but the acorn fell on the cop car, and the guy, you would have thought he was literally in the middle of combat. It was an acorn. He just unleashed. And so they have a caption that says "Blue Lives Matter" on that. The last one I'll read is people will try to smear Aaron Bushnell in the coming days as mentally ill. He didn't sacrifice his life because he was mentally ill. He did it because he was morally outraged, and we all should be. So, go ahead, Shanti. I know you have something here.
I mean, this is deeply rooted, and there's lots of other examples of this, most commonly in Buddhism, done in like a religious practice of self-sacrifice, often for protest, serving protest. I think there's an iconic photo of a Buddhist monk who's just ablaze in protest of the treatment of Buddhists in Vietnam. I think it wasn't a protest of the war, but of the treatment of the religious sect of Buddhists in Vietnam. But there also is another image of someone setting themselves on fire in protest of the Vietnam War. And it's considered to be one of the most extreme methods of protest, but also a nonviolent form as well. It's like, I'm I'm so enraged that I'm going to take this on for myself. And there's this quote by Huey Newton that I want to share. Revolutionary suicide does not mean that I and my comrades have a death wish. It means just the opposite. We have such a strong desire to live with hope and with human dignity that existence without them is impossible. And I mean, I think it's such a human sacrifice. I think about Judeo-Christian texts and how the lamb or the offering of sacrifice is so important. Sacrifice is a way to share your commitment or your sincerity or your prayer to God in a way. Like, let me kill something to get a boon or to get something in return, and to do that with your own life, and the way that especially Western perspective or Western eyes on it, we just all are just like crazy, like that. What? There's just not even an understanding of the sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean to us? What was he trying to say? What are we willing to give our lives up for? What causes? And I think it's so foreign to us and so outside of our understanding that it is really easy to dismiss as, not a heretic. Is heretic the right word? God damn it, Monty, what does heretic mean?
Not Monty. I'm calling out for Monty.
Heretic.
I remember that image you said.
No, it's not heretic. It's just it's just crazy. It's just crazy to not have a vocabulary.
No pun intended, but that image is burned in my brain for sure. Like I remember seeing that in history class. I don't know what they have now, but I don't even know if they show those kind of images to kids nowadays. But that I remember very, very well. It is a amazing sacrifice, and hopefully you get what you're looking for. Or something like that. I feel like people are so cynical nowadays and don't have the same kind of care. I would hate for that to go. I would hate for that point to be missed. I mean, it's great that you guys are bringing it up, but hopefully that the results come back how we wanted it to.
I mean, I think, and I don't want at all to glorify or romanticize self-harm or, unaliving self, right? I do, however, honor the desperation and the connection to his humanity and the rationale. I honor that. Like, I'm not going to take that away from Aaron. It is deeply disheartening to me, though, that this doesn't get the coverage. This didn't get the coverage.
Right.
That this was silenced. because it, especially in an election year, it does not fit the narrative. It is so, what is the word? What's the inconvenient for this to be a thing, and for this to be a United States 25-year-old healthy active duty member who said, "You motherfuckers are wrong." Yeah, I don't know if the White House has said anything. I just think that it's like PR, don't deal with it. You know, when you want things to go away, you don't talk about it, right? And that is, he wanted people to talk about it and not talk about him. He wanted to bring awareness to this issue. And so many people don't even know that it happened. And like someone's whole life, that's a hard way to go.
I just found out right now. So,
oh, really?
So,
Yeah.
I mean, your point is proven. 25 is. Sometimes when I hear some of the ages, it's hard to stomach.
The courage and the conviction.
The desperation. Yeah, it's courage and it's desperation as well. It's like, by any means necessary, we have to get this message across. You guys have to drill it into your head.
Yeah. So rest in peace to Aaron.
A lot of people are really upset. This may be a topic for another podcast, but so many Black folks in particular, Black leftists in particular, are upset that he is being upheld, and the wish of rest in power, which is often attributed to Black martyrdom or Black lives lost in some type of injustice, was given to him. And now there's like all this discourse online. I don't know if you've seen this, of like, why would you say rest in power to him? Which is probably not the way we should end that conversation, but it's also just makes me be like, burn it all down. Burn it all down.
I never knew that we owned that.
Apparently.
Rest in power. I feel like people just want to argue over anything. I never knew that was something that was attributed to Black people.
Yeah.
The act, his act is such an embrace again of humanity, of human beings, to then decide that he doesn't deserve a certain wish for his acknowledgement of his life, of his sacrifice, because we feel like we own something. I get it, and I could see if folks felt like if he was trying to make it about him and be like this white savior, but that's just not what I'm getting from this at all. And so I think our energy could be much better spent that's misplaced anger. Like, have that energy for Joseph Robinette and Congress and Netanyahu, not Aaron Bushnell. Anyway, I ain't see that, and I'm glad I didn't. Let's get more frustrated. Supreme Court agrees to hear Trump's immunity claim, setting arguments for late April. This is huge. This is breaking news. This is why I asked for 15 more minutes, a 15-minute delay of recording, because this broke and I said, oh my God. So I want to be very clear what this means to everyone. Trump's immunity claim is around the case against him about inciting an erection. Holy.
Get it together, bitch.
Inciting. I'm embarrassed now. It's right. I just slobbered a little bit. Okay.
Whoa.
Inciting an insurrection. Okay. So this is the biggest case, because this is what all of these other, like, there's 3 states being like, nah, he can't be on our ballot. Fuck out of here. He broke the law. So this is a huge case. Okay. what's happening is Trump is saying, nah. Y'all can't try me on this. I have immunity because I was a president. Let me get into it. Let me break it down. So the justices scheduled arguments for the week of April 22nd, excuse me. And so basically, this is a huge win. This is a huge interim win for Trump because his litigation strategy this whole time is to delay. Because why? If he can get himself elected, then he will appoint a new attorney general who won't even try this shit. They throw it at. We're not dealing with it.
Following you, picking up what you're putting down, Queen.
Picking up what I'm putting down. So, to be very clear, the lower courts already heard this immunity case from Trump. And they said, no, you do not have immunity for inciting an insurrection, bro. Sorry. He appealed it. So now it was up to the Supreme Court to determine if they were going to stay out of it
and say, dog?
We're going to honor. I already told you what they said. They said, we've been we hearing it. We are going to hear this case. 5 justices on the Supreme Court, we can guess who the fuck who, said, we're going to hear this case when they could have absolutely honored what the lower court said and said, this case has already been ruled on. We're not touching it. They did not do that. So, I want to explain Trump's argument because people are probably going to be like, how do you have immunity from this? Okay, this is Trump's legal argument. All right. He said, his lawyers say, whether and if so, to what extent does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office? It's a ton of words. An absence of criminal immunity for officials, an absence of criminal immunity for official acts threaten the very ability of the president to function properly, the filing said. Any decision by the president on a politically controversial question would face the threat of indictment by the opposing party after a change of administrations. That's what they're arguing. Now, most people read that and they're like, are you insane? No, it doesn't mean, no, that is not the case. Bro incited an insurrection. We are not talking about he decided to go to war and now he's out of office and the opposing party wants to say, you had no right to do that. We disagreed. We're going to bring you up on charges. That's not what they're saying, right? So this is the argument that they've brought forth. The significance of this is that this will now result in delays where we will not hear the case that Jack Smith, this is the prosecutor, has brought against Trump before the election. So people were banking on, okay, if the Supreme Court leaves it alone and they let everybody go by the lower court's ruling, that means that Jack Smith can get this case rolling. And during the election, like while we're ramping up for the election, we're going to hear more and more information come out about how Trump was involved. And that will help the Democrats in the election, right? And just bring out hopefully some more truths. Now, with these delays, because the Supreme Court is now going to have to hear whatever the fuck he's talking about. And if they choose to say, no, he has immunity, that's that. I don't actually think they will do that because that sets a precedent that's just insane. And I think the Supreme Court really needs a fucking win right now. I think they probably will hear it, which they're helping Trump out. He will get his delay and he will continue to fight all of his other criminal cases. But this one, the big daunting one, we don't get to hear. And we might not ever get to hear it if he gets elected.
Do you think that the insurrection and this idea of him inciting, do you think that people are really on the fence? Really like trying to be, you do?
I have family members who absolutely do
are
not
like,
feel that he incited.
this has to be proven in court that he.
I have family members who, even if it is proven in court, they do not agree.
Right, that's
people
the
went
part.
out there on
that part.
But
that
there
part.
are some people I think that it will sway. I think it will sway some independents.
Really?
I think it will sway some educated women.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
because
that's interesting.
there's a lot of folks that, even if you will watch like the news, and Monty, I want you to jump in, watch the news, and they're saying like, I want to see what happens with these cases. They're saying that actively. The one where the Stormy Daniels, they don't give a fuck, right? The one where he's stealing the election in Georgia, now it's starting to be like, we don't know because Fani Willis is seemingly corrupt. The one in Florida where he stole the fucking document, the documents, they're like, oh, okay, Joe Biden had documents too. This is the one that you can't say Joe Biden had anything to do with this. You can't go back and say the Democrats have done this as well. This is the one where people died. This was scary. This is unprecedented. And this has led to it.
I guess my...
I'm speaking for the voters, like what I've heard other voters say, but go ahead.
I feel like...
What are you eating in the mic?
I appreciate your fight for all this stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I feel a little defeated, but Shanti and this lemon or this lime, I've just been trying to compartmentalize it the whole time you've been talking. It's so funny because she's like pulling back.
Eating this lime as I'm trying to break this down. I know.
I'm completely engaged.
I know. She's engaged. She's with me.
I know. Yeah, I know. I was just funny watching it in real time.
It's like a Cubit's cube for me. It soothes my ADHD or whatever kind of disorder I got going on where I'm like messing with my hands while I'm listening.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel defeated in a lot of ways with this stuff. It's sad to feel that way. I mean, I definitely have a lot of fight in me, but it's a lot of bad choices. It's a lot of bad choices. A lot of people not listening to one another. It's a lot of, unfortunately, even people that like Trump, they're looking at surface stuff. They don't see all the other things that, all the other intangibles and things that could be bad in the future for everybody else. So I don't know. And Biden. I know you love Biden. I know.
Y'all gotta stop saying that.
Excuse me. I know it's tricky with Biden.
Yeah, y'all gotta stop saying that. Joseph Robinette.
Well, no, you came out the door swinging initially, and then you kind of started falling back a little bit, and as he was falling back on the ground, it's I don't know, man. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer anymore.
I don't think that politics are going to save us completely. I think that the voting is a non-negotiable. I think we have to vote and be engaged. But I also think that the outside activism, hear me out, the outside activism of like Ella Jo Baker, Fannie Lou Hamer, Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all of these folks making noise and disrupting society in a way forced certain legislation to be passed. It forced certain things to come into light. It forced it so we can't get anything done without those types of movements and activism, I feel. But again, I always go back to, will things be better? Who will things be better with? I understand that politics are as it is now, are the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the lesser of two evils. And then I'm hoping to be activated in something else while we whoop their ass a little bit and say, no, y'all got to get it the fuck together as well. I don't know.
And it's important to have that in the forefront, like that, lesser two evils, who will my life be better with? Like, that is good to have in the forefront because you could get lost in the sauce for sure. But I don't know. Do you think we progressed do you think we've made a lot of progression since those days, like Stokely Carmichael? And it's easy to say yes, but I feel like we kind of always take like a couple steps back.
I didn't live in those days, okay? But what I will say is I wouldn't have wanted to either.
Yeah.
I do think that there is progress that has been made. I think that there's more distractions, and I think that we're equating progress with money because it's so easy to do that here often. But I don't have to sit in the back of the fucking bus. Like there's certain things that are just like given, you know, like I can walk into my company and have the position that I have, right? I have a platform where I can speak my mind very freely and openly without being strung out on a fucking tree. So to say that there's no progress, and this is bare minimum shit, I'm not giving any party a pat on the back for recognizing our humanity and not being savages and thugs towards us, right? There's obviously more to do, much more to do, but it has to be, it's all work. And I'm not saying that we have to be patient, because we just had the conversation where white people are owning time, right? Be patient, wait your turn. Yeah. What I'm saying is we have to be activated on all fronts.
I feel like there's a lot of substitution. I'm not trying to be negative. I just feel like there's a lot of substitution for all those things that we've overcome. You know, you can speak freely and not get sprung up on a tree while people are enjoying a picnic. You don't got to deal with that stuff now. But I don't know. I feel like there's other ways of silencing, and you know, we see slavery turn to prison. You know, I feel like there's always a substitution for something else that we may not even see everything.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I understand. You know, you can't just give up. So I understand that part.
We can, but then we have to deal with those consequences as well.
I think a lot of it's easier. You know, as far as like distractions and social media and all these things, like there's a lot of us just living under a rock, so to speak.
Yeah. Shanti, what do you think?
About everything that you guys are just talking about?
Anything. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't have anything to add to that. To that conversation.
I'd love to know what the listeners think. I mean, because we're between a rock and a hard place this year. I don't know what the fuck to do. I keep trying to rationalize it, and I hit the mic. Sorry, Monty. I keep trying to rationalize it in my head about how to vote, what to do.
And I think that's what I hear. Sorry, I think that's what I hear when I hear you speak. I mean, I listen to you guys talk a lot, so I think that's what I hear when I hear you speak. It's a lot of optimism on your side.
It's not though.
I
am not someone walking around here with rose-colored glasses on. I promise you, I'm not.
I'm not saying that you're naive. I'm saying that you still see a way. You still see some avenues, some ways to make things better, to make it out. Like you're still in the fight, and I think sometimes it's easy for a lot of us, including me, to just be like, "Well, can we really change?" And you know, I don't want to give that message to everybody, because I mean, there's definitely ways to change. Like, as you mentioned before, you know, we need disruptors, but politics is a crazy game, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the type where if I can't go down on my fucking knees, and I don't know that it has to be through politics. I don't know I don't know that if we resign ourselves to not voting and to saying the system is corrupt, because honestly, I don't know what system is perfect. I'm not going to show up. How that helps. That's what I ask myself. I don't know how that helps our end goal. It doesn't solve it. I'm very clear about that.
You need to be.
But I don't know that it helps us progress either. So I don't want to do anything that doesn't help us progress. And I think for me, I have to get more radical and get more involved in the other ways in which we can be activated that's outside of the political structure and just voting and really speak towards that. I'm working on guests to come on who are doing like radical work that maybe will be more inspiring, because I understand that politics just aren't. They're not for me either.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. I think sometimes it's in the back of my mind. I'm concerned for, maybe it's my emotion in the Pisces atmosphere, but like I'd be worrying about people's well-being and just like peace of mind, and including you. I was like, man, I feel like this is always on your mind, always on your shoulders, and I understand you got to be in the fight, you got to be in the game, but there's times where I'm like, it's hard to balance sometimes. Mm-hmm. I haven't watched any black man be killed on TV or on my YouTube or whatever in the longest, because why would I keep submitting to something that I don't have a resolution for immediately? It feels like it's trauma, just like embracing all this trauma. So I think that's kind of how I look at politics sometimes, to a degree.
Hey.
I think there's a collective crumbling that's happening, and a collective grieving that we're all trying to figure out, right? Like the lie, the image, I won't say lies, the image of what U.S. politics, economy, dream represents to all of us. For Black people in particular, it's always been a little bit like, that actually isn't true. There's always this
skepticism,
this honesty, or this reality that we know that like actually this isn't happening. But what's happening, it feels like to me, is that there is a collective crumbling to the American dream, a collective crumbling around the ideals of how politics work for both Democrats and for Republicans, and the ways in which the different mechanisms and levers work, and this idea of voting strategy, leadership is completely is completely going against the direness of everything. It's like another 4 more years. It's like saying somebody's in a burning house and it's like, but wait, we just gotta put these pieces in place and then we'll get the relief that we want. And I think all of that is shocking to everybody, and it's crumbling for everybody. And people are grieving and responding to it in a different way. And I think we're all trying to figure out what the other options or what the other possibilities are. But I think we're undeniably, that past dialogue, that past narrative, that those past dreams, those past strategies do not work. They just don't, it's just not giving the same results. It's just something, we know too much now. Like, we collectively know too much, and what we're going to do, I guess I have hope in. And maybe it's through political strategy, maybe it's through more grassroots things, but the veil is thin, and fucking, what's his name? The Wizard of Oz, whatever his name is, the wizard has been revealed. What's his name? In the Wizard of Oz? The wizard, whatever. It's just like, oh, it's just like a little man talking on a mic that doesn't know what the fuck's really going on. So, what a time to be alive.
All right. Well, there's a couple more things that we're not going to get into, but we do want to mention. Biden has said that he is hopeful. He feels that a ceasefire could happen in Gaza in 1.5 weeks. That was this Monday, I believe. So by the time this comes out, we'll be a week in. Let's see. He also said it while he was eating a fucking ice cream cone. Also, the devil himself, Mitch McConnell, will not seek re-election in November. Mitchie is 82 years old. He was the longest serving Senate caucus leader in history. And his term will end January 2027. He plans to keep his seat in the chamber, though. People speculate this is due to his age and his health. Others believe it's because the party is shifting more and more towards Trump, and he and Trump has a very fractured relationship, and he cannot stomach the thought of needing to be his mouthpiece. Councilman Eric Mays passes away. He's a Flint, Michigan councilman. People, if you Google him, you will know exactly who he is if you don't already. He had the hottest of clapbacks, very viral moments where he was checking the shit out of people. Very black man who ain't play around. And he represented the first ward on the Flint City Council for more than 10 years, and he often received the most votes of any of his colleagues on the council. And it just showed that how popular he was among his constituents. So rest in peace to him. He was quite young, I believe 63, quite young. Attributed to natural causes after an illness. That was his death. Trump beat the shit out of Nikki Haley in her hometown of South Carolina, but he still did not beat her by the margins that people thought that he would, which is leading folks to believe that there isn't that much support for Trump as we think when it comes to if Trump were to go up against a Democratic nominee, which most likely will be Biden. Illinois judge, I just said this, ruled for Trump to be removed from the ballot for inciting an insurrection.
Girl.
Something about erections today.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think the name of this episode is Erection or Insurrection. It's a thin line.
Right. Yeah,
Tell us something what's going on.
Well, okay. Hello. Just rolls off the tongue. All right, let's move on to other things.
Hold on real quick. I'm sorry.
No problem, because I got to get a clip ready. Go ahead.
Can I jump back to Biden real quick?
Oh, shit, sure.
He said the whole Monday thing, but he said, eating ice cream, as you mentioned, so, all right, the weekend. At the end of the weekend. Monday.
Yeah. Biden.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? That's like lives. Hundreds of lives in between that amount of time.
Of him licking that fucking ice cream cone while he said
it. It's crazy.
It was just like...
It gave you those red eyes again.
Yeah, it was like, bro, what is wrong with you? Also, I get that he was asked the question, and I'm sure he wasn't expecting that question because he's trying to be a man of the people and just eat his fucking ice cream and show how relatable he is. But Biden, put the ice cream down for a moment. He also had his health check today. This is big news. And he did not get a kind of neurological exam because his doctor was like, he doesn't need one, y'all. He just old. But he's cognitive. He didn't get a cognitive exam.
His doctor said
was like, I'm not fucking... Yeah, he was like, I'm not doing a cognitive exam because it feeds into your lies. He doesn't fucking need it. Here's the health results. He's physically able to do his job. He's got sleep apnea and he's got arthritis in his motherfucking spine. What else y'all want to know? I wish he would have done the cognitive exam just to shut folks up. But...
Shut me up.
He should have.
And I don't disagree.
Michael Jackson's doctors fed him drugs till he died.
Who?
So Michael Jackson's doctors. Enabling is very possible with doctors. Doctor is not above enabling.
I know that's right. Talk about it, sis. All right, let's get into pop culture. Okay. So I put up a post. Let me take this. And I put up a meme. I like a good meme. I don't even remember what the meme said. And if I click off of here, it said something about our girl. Is her name Tessa Ressa or Ressa Tessa?
Tessa Ressa.
Just wrong. Just loud and wrong. Okay. The original post said, I'm not watching 50 clips about a 45-year-old being dumb for a man. Her big ass knew. That was the original post. Now I posted this and then I saw a whole bunch of people upset and I was like, why are they up? In my mind, I'm like, they're just talking about her age. Like, she 45. She older. Like, she got to know better at this point. And, like, also, it's a meme. Does she really need to know better? I mean, I feel sorry for her. We all played a fool. But it was meme time.
Sorry, Ressa Tessa, just to be clear.
Ressa Tessa.
Yeah.
That name. Okay. So people got upset. And while we were packing the orders, I was like, oh my God, we're getting all these notifications. What happened? And Shanti called me in too and was like, girl, I'm shocked you posted that. And I looked at her like, but why? Like, what is so bad about it? And she's like, they talking about her weight. And that shit went over my head. But the worst part was that I posted it the day that Charlamagne made the big back comment on the Breakfast Club. So it just seemed like that was a scheduled post gone wrong. I had scheduled that on the weekend and like it just went wrong. And I identify as a plus size woman, so I would not post something like that to try to be intentionally harmful. Some people got it. They knew what I thought it meant. Other people didn't, and I apologize for that. I also want to play the clip of Charlamagne. Now I am
Charlamagne.
I don't want to play this clip because some of the people on the clip I don't care for, and I'm pretty sure I can guess who. But I wish them well. I don't wish them harm. I wish them help. And I'm friends with the trans community. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to play the clip and then stop being shady. But here I go.
Put that on the shirt.
824.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I hear a lot of big back behavior. Does she have a big back?
She do give Sheila that was driving up the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Sheila
did.
was beautiful though.
Yeah, no. You talked about the big back,
Yeah,
not
the
the
big
face.
back. Yeah, you're right,
She
you're
was
right.
cool.
What's your thing with big backs?
No, I'm just saying because in a situation like this, some of you big backs, y'all got to stop being so thirsty for a man. There's a man out there for you. Okay, this woman believed all of this because she wanted to believe all of this. Big back belief isn't like everybody else's belief. Okay, she said it herself. He said everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She wanted to believe whatever was coming out of his mouth because she wanted a man so bad.
And then I seen him and he actually looked like her. But what's interesting
Right,
is
he had a big back.
He had a big back too. Okay. All right.
People forget what
So
they used to look
I'm not going to get into the T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison went off and said, are we not going, I don't know, stomp Charlamagne's face in, something like that. It was something like that. T.S. Madison is a transsexual. I think that's what TS stands for. And so Jess has a history of saying some comments that didn't land well with the trans community, and rightfully so they didn't. I think that there's some growth to be had on her side. But Jess pointed out the inconsistencies of like, well, if we were to say this about T.S. Madison, if Charlamagne said that about her, then the whole internet would blow up because now we're being violent towards a trans woman. And then T.S. Madison also misgendered Jessica Hilarious on purpose. Again, Jessica was like, if I were to do that to T.S. Madison, the whole internet would blow up. That's a whole other conversation that I don't feel like getting into because I don't feel like it. I think that T.S. Madison, I think her point was on point. I think her delivery was off. Jess, I think, has growth to do. What I want to get into is this idea around women who are plus size, right? Who don't have quote unquote pretty privilege, that they exhibit a certain amount of behavior, certain kind of behavior rather, that where they fall victim to this type of treatment, and that they are like, somehow it's their fault because they are so desperate to be seen, to be loved, to get anything that they will believe anything. Is there any truth to that or not? What do we think?
I'm not a woman, so I don't want to speak first.
Oh,
You date
Monty.
women, right?
Yeah, and I prefer a thicker woman. So I mean, I'm on the side, but I don't know, all I could think about was Charlamagne used to do like a piece of toast. Really, like it's things that people start to forget. And
Somebody posted his before, and I was like, "Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
He must have got like facial peels."
he got chemical pills is what he said.
Yeah.
True or not, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But I just don't understand people bashing people in like they just have like short-term memory. They forget what people were talking about. I mean, Charlamagne always been a brash person and saying words, but as far as what you're saying about like the whole, I guess you will call it the theory, desperation theory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people do have some low self-esteem. That people feel they're too skinny. People feel they're too big. So I can't just put it on quote unquote big women. But I don't know. I don't have anything.
Okay, Shanti.
I mean, I guess to piggyback off of what Monty said.
I was trying to say
I don't know that it's exclusive to big back women or little back women or whatever the fuck body type women. You have women that are drop dead gorgeous that fill all of the checks of what beauty is, that make choices that don't align with their worth. I think the bigger question is, if you make choices from a place of desperation, from a place of not aligning with your worth, does that then make you deserve the consequence of it? Do you deserve that, which then makes you somehow there's less compassion that's offered to you. There's less empathy that's offered to you, regardless of the body that you inhabit, because we all, big, little, whatever, we all out here making poor fucking decisions.
We've all done it.
But what does that mean if you make poor decisions? If you make poor decisions knowingly, I think that's another thing, and that's what I've been struggling a little bit with this whole conversation.
With the story, right? There was a point where she kept saying, "I knew."
Then what happens? Are you not? What happens?
I don't know. No one deserves, I think, to be harmed, right? No one deserves to be treated poorly. I think what people are saying is like, well, there's an accountability, and she's taking it. Like, this lady is taking accountability and telling her story. She's not just saying, I'm a victim. She's very clear and like, I knew, here's the other red flag that I ignored, because I finished the whole thing. You
did?
And, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Took the time, played it at double speed on YouTube, finished it. And, and there's plenty of other women that he has done the same thing to who have since come out. But yeah, I think, Shanti, you hit the nail on the head of like, when do you deserve what you get? When is it you made your bed, lay in it? And I think it's when there's like repeated, if you just keep repeating the same behavior. But also I would stretch out to say like, well, if someone keeps repeating the same behavior, when do we ask, why are you doing that? What's going on with you that's making you do that? And then I would say, which people are not going to like, unpopular take, he keeps repeating the same behavior. So I look to him and think, why are you doing that? The person who's causing the harm, right? There's some self-harm on her part where she's ignoring it. But bro, why are you okay? You're obviously not okay. But we throw him out. We throw him out because he ain't shit. Philly on how to act. Got it. It's a funny joke, but it is something for us to think about. And I just
he's clearly unwell.
Clearly. But also causing harm and won't. But the difference is he won't take any accountability. He's still saying she's lying. He's still doing his whole shenanigan, where she is taking accountability. So people are going to have more, you would think, obviously, because she has a big back, it's her fault.
I think I missed the whole appearance part initially, because I feel like the delusion was based in faith and other things of that nature. I never had like the appearance part of it in my
She never mentioned weight. That was Charlamagne who brought that in. That's a
Charlamagne thing. He's done that on
other people did too, to be very clear. As soon as she posted it, and because the only time she addressed it in her story was she said, for those of you who are saying that why would you think a VP would date me based off of how I look? That's a mean thing to say. And then she kept going. So she was getting that throughout the video.
Charlamagne has been wrapped up in visual appearance for, I don't listen to him anymore, but it's been throughout the Brilliant Idiots, throughout his time on Breakfast Club, throughout whatever he's been on this kick of you unhealthy, you big, you blah, blah, blah. Like, he's been on that side. So I understand people like that do exist and being nasty. But to your point, yeah, she never brought up any of that. So that was never in my head. So even having this conversation, I was like, what?
Well, we're lying if we say that's not currency. Like,
right.
Why are we also acting like that's crazy?
That if you look a certain way, it's currency. I would be lying when I first heard this. I had to sit with myself for a second because I thought, well, my weight has absolutely played a part in some of the decisions and some of the that I've made and some of the treatment that I have accepted, because that's the thing that I am self-conscious about. But
were you knowingly accepting it? Like knowingly putting yourself down? Okay.
Absolutely. I was very clear as to why I was overlooking certain things or not speaking out about certain things, right? Or accepting whatever kind of treatment. But I think my weight societally is something that is very easy to pinpoint. That is what she would be self-conscious about. Mm-hmm. Whereas Ashanti has something else brewing in her head as to why she accepted certain shit, but it's not so visibly, it's not identifiable. Thank you. So we think, oh, well, he just did her wrong. It's like, no, everybody has their shit.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Weight, hair, all these little things that we add currency to, breast, fat ass, all these things. If you don't have it, then that has to be the reason why you're not being treated well, because you're accepting bullshit. I want to read what Candace Benbow said, because I think she hit the nail on the head. I just love her. She said, Charlamagne wrote a best-selling book about mental health and has talked several times about the importance of advocating for Black women, only to reduce Ressa Tessa's experience to her being overweight. Ressa was completely vulnerable about her experience and was honest about the brokenness that led her to continue a relationship despite numerous red flags. Here's the truth. No matter our size or complexion or aesthetic, many women have been played and been left heartbroken. And no matter when we tell that story, there's always an asshole ready to tell us it was our fault, that we should have known better. The blame is always ours. What happened to Ressa Tessa didn't happen to her because she's plus size. It happened because someone took advantage of her desire for love and partnership. And in her quest for love and partnership, she ignored some vital signs that thankfully she's recognized and will never ignore again. Folks will always have an opinion. We've all shared ours. But on such a large platform, to poke fun at Ressa's weight and appearance, Charlamagne's a jerk for that. But nobody is surprised. Protect Black women has always come with terms and conditions. And that called me in. That called me in because I dismissed it too. Like, girl, that girl was tripping. She was, and I'm talking to my girl. She was
tripping. I don't get that. I'm sorry.
She was tripping. Was tripping. But that doesn't mean that we still don't want to see her well, and we still don't want for her to feel better. It's not a dismissal of her feelings. She made poor choices.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to dismiss.
I beg to differ that Candace made it that she was ignored. And I think that that's a key word to say that she ignored some vital things, right? Mm-hmm. Like the word ignored takes away a certain type of, and was taken advantage of when we often find ourselves in the perfect link and the perfect entanglements with other people that click well with our wounds, with our trauma, with our areas of growth and development if we were to rise to the occasion and like show up and I don't know, acknowledge that this is a hurt place and you're touching on it and like I have to do something differently. I feel like in my interpretation of what Candace said, that it's the same thing of she was taken advantage of by this man, and because she was hurt. Yes, I think that's true, but I feel like there's some accountability or some responsibility, and that was fulfilling some desire, some narrative that the girl had, that it just feels too victim-y, like it was out of her control, and
I don't think
he was taking advantage of her. It's like, no, they were locked in. Both of them were playing out their shit together with free will.
Did you listen to it?
I read that, and I was like,
But did you listen to the story?
No, I didn't listen to it, but I'm responding to what Candace just said about it. I mean,
I get it. He did take advantage of her. He lied to her multiple times, forged documents. There was a lot of things that he did do that, like, I will just let you know, Shanti, he was a liar, and he also provided like false documentation, and like he was like really role playing. Like
she knew he was lying though.
Eventually, but not in the beginning.
She knew about the house.
But how many times did it take for her to be like, oh?
Right. I don't think what Candace is saying is she's solely the victim, but what she's saying is like, we can't just only focus on the fact that she needs to take accountability. That's how I'm saying it. She needs to take accountability, but we also need to understand that this motherfucker did this. It's like, because we're not going to do it's similar to you were raped, what were you wearing? It's like, we're not going to do that either. To me,
I don't know if that's similar. I don't think it's similar at all.
I hear what you're saying.
That's what I'm trying to say is like, I am hard on women. I'm hard on how accountable we need to be, because I think that we lack a lot of accountability. But I loved when she said like, this woman couldn't have been harmed without someone harming her. So we're not going to forget that. Like, yes, there needs to be accountability, but you should not have this in your soul that you want to do this to me, whether I am ignoring red flags or not.
True. Yeah,
I see both sides of it.
My thing is that I don't see it as rape. I don't see it as like a sheer.
That was a bad example.
I see it as there's an equal puzzle here. Mm-hmm. I got my shit with me where I'm lying, I'm hiding, I'm trying to impress you, I don't know what his shit is, right? If we were to really sit with him, we'd probably go down to a very tender person that wants.
I think he has a mental illness.
A very tender, serious thing that he has that locked in with another person, and they fit perfectly, and neither one of them was being accountable or practicing self-awareness in a particular way, and it went wild in a way that I feel like we're all making fun of it because we're all in this terrible spiral of dismissing men in a particular way and upholding women in a particular way because of how often women have been abused and have been overlooked and taken advantage of historically, and we're in this moment where like we're raising women up and throwing men out versus it being like, oh, these were two people that were both equally unwell and suited in their unwellness and are like in a spiral, and we're just laughing him off like, this nigga crazy from Philly, look at him, look at that nigga, and then we're like, you know,
I'm agreeing with Shanti on that part.
How does she feel? I don't know. I just,
after listening to the whole thing, I don't think that it was equal. He was intentionally. She was intentionally
accepting it though. Like, it doesn't make her bad. It doesn't make her a bad person. She's just locked in her own.
I think we might be saying the same thing. I think we might be saying the same thing.
It was not equal, but in the real time, he said something about the house, getting the house, and putting a down payment on things, and She was,
But he always had an
she was
excuse for that.
and she was tracking all this stuff, and she found out, oh, this ain't your house. This is you lying, but I'm gonna let that go because God told me.
She didn't find that out until like episode 30. The houses were falling. I'm serious. The houses were falling through, and then we can move on. The houses were falling through because of and she wasn't well versed enough in the home stuff. And even people were saying, no, he has a point, was that they wanted him to show proof of income and give over all of his bank stuff. And he was like, I'm not comfortable with this until they accept my offer. And then I'll do it. I'm not going to give my stuff over if they're not going to accept my offer, because he was saying that he could put cash down. And she had seen bank accounts and things, and he was paying her bills. He was paying all the bills. It was always taken care of. She didn't have an issue with money at all right away. So she's like going along with what he's telling her. And then slowly she's like, oh, this is falling through. This one's falling through. Wait a minute. But people were even in her ear saying, no, he shouldn't give his proof of whatever it is, income or whatever, and all his bank account stuff if they haven't accepted the offer. So she that wasn't necessarily a red flag then, is all I'm saying. Like if I'm forging bank records and documents and getting on the phone and having fake conversations with family members, having people pose as family members, there's a point where it's like, it's not just he was caught cheating.
Her willfully believing,
right?
She was being persuaded.
She was being intentionally lied to and manipulated,
bamboozled.
Yeah, like he's a con artist to an extent. So I think there's a little more grace that I give there. Okay. But when she started to realize very much later on in the story, I think that's where it's like, okay, sis.
All right.
Did she walk away at that point, or was she still invested? When she
it took her a minute, but she was hip to him. She just didn't have her ducks in a row to dip. And I think she was deep in married, and then the whole religious factor was also a thing. You got to realize she was very religious, and it was, there's all this other stuff happening where she has all this societal pressure on her.
All right.
Interesting. But that was a good conversation. This one be the last one. I know, Shanti, we can't talk about your girl, Wendy. I'm so sorry.
We already talked about Wendy. God help her.
Okay.
That's all we could pray about Wendy. Lord Jesus.
I'm not watching none of it.
I'm not watching that. Diddy is sued again, though, y'all.
Diddy is Diddy.
The producer, Rodney Little Rod Jones, says in a lawsuit that he lived and traveled with Diddy from September 2022 to November 2023, during which he recorded hours of video and audio of Combs, his staff, and others engaging in serious illegal activity.
Illegal activity.
Yep. The lawsuit includes what it says are screenshots from gatherings hosted at Combs' home that included underage girls, sex workers, some of which he said were provided drinks that had been laced with drugs at Combs' direction. In illegal documents obtained by TMZ, Rodney Jones claims that he was repeatedly sexually assaulted by Diddy and subjected to unwanted advances by associates of Diddy at his direction. Jones also claims Diddy would grope Jones's genitals and touch his anus. Now, I think it's very important that it wasn't touch his butt, it's touch his anus. And that is because Mark Lamont Hill was reporting that Rodney Jones said that while he was working on the Love album, can you fucking believe that? He was working on the Love album, and Puff would force him to come into the bathroom with him while he showered to continue to work on the album, and he would have to be in there working on things. And so there was plenty of opportunity for, again, his anus to be touched. Oh boy, Lord. Where did I leave off? This is why I get confused. Jones also goes on to allege that Diddy forced him to watch a video involving Stevie J having sex with another man. Jones included a screen grab of that video in the lawsuit. An update here is that a porn star recently said that's not Stevie J, that was him in the video. Jones also alleges that at several of Diddy's parties, Diddy intentionally served women bottles of tequila with drugs in it. We already said that. And there were also claims that his son, Justin Combs, was recruited to help recruit prostitutes. And in Justin's case, he was instructed to find underage girls to attend the parties. Cuba Gooding Jr. is also in here, where
Not Cuba.
Cuba I know personally is a fucking disgusting piece of shit who has groped and touched someone that I know very personally, so fuck him. But he began touching and groping and fondling Mr. Jones's leg, his upper inner thighs, near his groin, the small of his back, near his buttocks, and his shoulders. There are lots of people, this is important, there are lots of people implicated in this lawsuit. It's not only Puffy, but it is Justin Combs, his adult son, his chief of staff, Christina Coram, Universal Music Group CEO, former Motown's Records CEO. Jones is basically trying to use a RICO case to say that this was an organized operation. This is not just Puff doing fucked up stuff. That like everybody's in on this. Everybody operates a certain kind of way. He even went on to say that there were certain nightclubs in Miami that if he was instructed to wear a certain kind of hat and everybody knew in that nightclub, that meant that Puff was looking for prostitutes to come party with him afterwards. That it was all very organized. And Jones is seeking $30 million. Now, here's a statement. We have to say this. This is all allegedly. I won't get sued. But via Diddy's lawyer, they say we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Our attempts to share this proof with Mr. Jones's attorney, Tyrone Black. Our attempts to share this proof. Try this again. Monty, try this again. Ready? Because I can't read. Okay. We have overwhelming and indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. We will address these outlandish allegations in court and take all appropriate actions against those who make them. Justin Combs' lawyer said Justin Combs categorically denies these absurd allegations. They are all lies. This is a clear example of a desperate person taking desperate measures in the hopes of a payday. There will be legal consequences for all defamatory statements made about the Combs family. Meek Mill is also implicated in this suit.
God damn.
Meek Mill, his name was not in the suit. His name was redacted along with another R&B star. But it did say in the asterisk that this was a Philadelphia rapper who had a relationship with Nicki Minaj. I don't know who the fuck put that note in there, but everybody knows who that is. Meek Mill is right now losing his fucking mind on Twitter, denying this. He's pissed off that DJ Academics was sitting in his basement with the screen up, and he was the one that kind of helped make that very public information. Anyway, all this to say, what is most disheartening to me is that we've known, again, no one has come out in Diddy's defense. Not a fucking soul who works with him has said, I don't believe this. He's a good guy. Anyone who actually, like Floyd Mayweather tried to say, he never said he didn't believe it. He just said that it's not his business and we should give him grace kind of vibes. We've known this. People in the industry have known this. Cassie has told us this, right? And we did not care as much about the harm when Cassie, like we cared about Cassie because Cassie is famous, right? Let me restate that. Cassie's famous, so we cared about what happened to her. There are so many other people and women and men and young people who have been taken advantage of by Diddy. This has been a long-standing rumor that we've ignored. Now we really care about it on social media because it's Meek Mill, because it's a man, what is his name? Little Rod Jones. Stevie J is implicated. And all people are discussing is the homophobia around it. The only thing, they are not talking about the harm. It was also implicated in this lawsuit that he possibly murdered somebody. That it was implicated that he was raping people, sex trafficking, drugging people, bribing people. He blew up what's his face's car. Like,
Kid Cudi.
Everybody's talking about the fact that Meek Mill might be bisexual, that Stevie J might have dealt with men, that Diddy deals with men, that Young Miami probably, her and Saucy Santana were dealing with him. Like, they are completely overlooking the harm, and it's revealing just how insidious and fucked up our community is, because we're not discussing the thing here. Like, I don't care if Meek Mill has sex with men. Did you read what was just written? And that's seriously the focus. Like, Shanti, I know you're not on Twitter, but that's all everybody's talking about. They could give a fuck about what he did.
Twitter's not a real place. Yeah,
but it is, because that's what people are focused on.
I always say I don't know these niggas. But I hope I don't know these niggas. I mean, because I know some people just don't. People don't present that to me sometimes. But yeah, I immidentely dismissed all of the people be gay. Yeah, Shanti said on this podcast.
People be gay, and it's not gay. It's bisexual, queer, whatever. I don't care.
It don't matter. We talking about harm. We talking about somebody assaulting somebody. We talking about aggression. We talking about an attack. You know. So I mean, I don't know. That's weird. That's weird that's even a part of the conversation. There's a lot more. So the fact that you said nobody came out, definitely, that's kind of crazy.
The fact that all of this happened, right? And what's that beautiful baby's mother? What's the mother that passed away's name?
Kim Porter.
Yeah.
The fact that Kim Porter died within his world, the fact that his son, Justin Combs' mother, I remember this, June 5th, 2023, said, Misa Hilton said, "I'm not protecting no one anymore, just my son. The statement, a fish rots from the head down, means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root cause of its failure and demise. The truth shall set you free." She said that June 5th, 2023. Diddy has a darkness. Diddy is a dangerous dude, and it is all coming out. I think what we may be attributing to people not caring is that we have been numbed to the prevalence and the it's just common knowledge in a way. It's like, oh, there's some weird sex world in Hollywood and music media that involves, pedophilia, homosexuality, rape, drug use. Okay, who were the niggas involved? We're so numb to that we're just like, who was it? We know that shit happens, but was it Usher? Is it Meek Mill? And we're just being
that's a tea that people are really, really
gremlins about it, being just as engaged in it. And it just, to your point, Antoinette, as harmful, like not really caring about what the fuck is going on. And we're just like, what's the tea? Like, we know this shit is weird. Like, but who's the weirdos? I want to know.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. But apparently they do. Now I'm saying, like, people are like, oh, you heard me, Milk Gay? They skip all the abuse and all the
harm, the disgust, the culture of Hollywood, the culture of music, the reasons why, to our point, that this young man, Rod, I don't know his name, might have felt like he had no options because he was producing an entire album by Diddy, and his desire for success. Say that again?
You said living with him? He was living with him?
Yeah, I mean, his desire for success is his desire for I would just say success, period, led him to, similar to this Tessa we just talked about, may have led him to be like, overlook, see things and be like, but I
Hindsight's
other thing is
2020.
happening.
Do you remember the? I mean, I don't have too much point to say. Like, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry that it's even a part of our lives at this point, but and a part of their lives. But do you remember the when Diddy was dressed up as a Joker?
Mm-hmm.
You know, going down through. You know, he was talking to 2-Bit from Power. I forgot, I don't know his real name, but it was a little bit disturbing. You know, it was like playing the role, but he was a little maniacal, like, yo, I fuck you up, blah, blah. He was talking a lot of tough, you know, Harlem shit. So, hindsight's 2020. I think that there's some deep secrets in that's coming out.
I think
the fact that he made a love album.
I'm super clear about Diddy.
That was amazing.
Hey, stop! I'm sorry, my cat wants to be
Blue
rubbed.
one?
She just was trying to get my attention. I'm clear about Diddy. I'm clear that Diddy is maniacal. I am inviting us all to look at how the ways in which we are maniacal, because what I saw online today, when this shit broke, is gross. And I make fun of Meek Mill all the time because he be saying goofy shit. Meek on Twitter is not good. But if this is the way that Meek's sexuality, how he's outed, if it's true, right? But if it is true, imagine that's the way that it comes out. Like, what? And even I just want it's not about Meek. It's about us. It's about how this shit is seeped into our culture in a way where we have to root that shit out. We have to. And here's the deal. If it was two Young Miami was flirting with Meg and they talking about all kinds of stuff they wanted to do to each other. It was cool. It's sexy. It's this. 2 men. It's disgusting. I mean, the tweets are awful. They really are.
Am I wrong for ignoring that section of people? Like, I feel like I just dismissed that because I'm like, that's foolishness.
The more and more, I think some stuff needs to be ignored, but I do think some shit needs to be called in. I do. And I'm saying called in because called out is like, you know, the cancel culture doesn't work. We got to call our community in. Like, does anybody see this? Y'all are missing the point. And this is an opportunity for us to like actually evaluate ourselves. And I saw somebody else say, I wonder what would happen if we didn't demonize and other, you know, men wanting to be sexual with other men so much that maybe they wouldn't have to resort to some of this other weird shit. Now, pedophilia and all that other shit, rape, drugging women and all that, that's, come on now. No. But what if we embraced it? And I know there's parts of, I'll speak for myself. I know there's parts of myself, right? Where if I were dating somebody and he told me, I like men too, I'm interested, I enjoy having sex with men, that it would bring some of this shit up that I want to root out for myself of like, oh, for real? Oh, and why, like, we have to figure this out. Now, I would never ignore harm done to him based off of that, but like, what are we doing?
I think what I am most curious about in this whole thing is power. I feel like with Diddy, what is the most insidious thing is not his sexuality, right? Because I feel like Diddy, of all the people named Diddy, is the most unbothered by it. I feel like it is the way that he wielded his power and dangled a carrot of reward, success, inclusion to his favor, and how that is often the underbelly of the highest parts of the culture that we ignore, or we don't necessarily have access to, or we don't believe. Again, this idea of sacrifice, of like, oh, I got to do this thing to get this thing, and how often we do that in our own lives as well. Like how we're responding to this, our reaction to all of these folks that don't identify as queer, but also like how do we hold on or betray ourselves, watch other people take advantage of for the use of power to get on, to be put on because it's the culture, because it's the way, rather than being like, oh, wait a minute, this is actually kind of hellish and harmful.
Bringing it back to the people, like just accountability. I feel like part of this, Diddy's, he made his choices. But I think you start to have like an ego. You start to have like a God complex of like, oh man,
so much power.
I made these hits from Andre Harrell leaving Uptown Records and making on his own. And
well, Diddy was groomed by Andre.
Yeah, that too.
Was he?
Yes.
What?
That's the
YouTube channel.
Another person that passed away. But then then Biggie goes, and then you start making your own wave, and it's still moving, and you got all these acts, and it's just a lot of people are celebrating you always.
Mm-hmm.
The parties and the sponsors, the liquor, and it's just I feel like you can't do anything. Like you could do what you want to do at some point.
Power, yeah.
So that's all those deep, dark secrets and deep, messed up stuff inside of them. I feel like it just comes out because you're able to just do what you want to do. Nobody's gonna question that until now.
God complex mixed with the industry.
And the Benjamins ain't never gonna not sound good.
Damn.
The Benjamin, the song you mean? All About the Benjamins? Or the actual money? Because All About the Benjamins is always going to sound good. I know. It's terrible. I love that song.
Can't nobody hold me down.
Can we not listen to that anymore? Damn, that's a part.
That's another time.
Are we not allowed to listen?
Look, this is where
we, the accountability.
Now,
I don't know.
What y'all want to do?
No,
damn.
We're not doing that here right now. We
That's
haven't figured
not
out collectively. We don't know yet. We don't know. There's other people on the song.
I DJ'd a whole bad boy party, and this is before this happened, but
I know.
It's hard.
Oh boy.
Listen,
all right.
A lot of work to be done on our end, but hopefully this is an invitation for us to do it. Monty,
hey.
Speaking of work, thank you for all the work that you do in helping us get our lives together. Monty is the reason why we can have 2 episodes a week, because y'all wouldn't probably have one if we were still editing ourselves. So thank you so much, Monty, for all that you do, for all of your very constructive criticism and calling in and suggestions. Can you please tell the people where they can find you?
Sure. Well, you guys can find me at thepeopletalkingpodcast.com. Find me on Instagram, same thing. Well, actually, it's The People Talking Pod on Instagram because I got shut down before. And you can find. If you want to look for me, I'm Styles Baby Look. Just figure it out.
And then, do you have? I know that some people might be looking for your services. Do you have more room? I know you got a job, you got your own podcast, and you helping us out. If you don't, say so sorry.
If I could freelance for everybody and quit my job, I will.
So
I have the time and opportunity.
Is there an email folks can reach out to you if they need an editor?
Yeah, please, Monty at thepeopletalkingpodcast.com. That's where everything goes. Just MONTY at thepeopletalkingpodcast.com. You can email me for any inquiries, and I'm here for editing services and what do you call it? Producing, and I could talk to you about some things. I'm trying to think of what's the word for that?
Consulting.
Yes,
I know that's
Sometimes
right.
I forget words, but yeah, listen. I've been doing this for 5 years plus. I've learned a lot of things. My resume is super extensive compared to what it was in 2018 because I've had to learn these things. I never wanted to do video editing. I never wanted to do a lot of things, but I've had to because you can't trust other people to do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to do your own. And I've learned how to edit, and I've learned how to set things up, and graphic design, and website maintenance, and all the things. So, please, if you guys have any questions, I'm always here to help.
Thank you. 10 out of 10. We highly recommend. You're not getting out of here without the rapid fire questions. Get ready. I'm sure you heard us. You know what these are, so we're not going to explain it. Are you ready?
I am ready. I just want to say one thing.
Okay.
I find it because Antoinette loves Beyonce. Shanti has been loving Kanye a lot lately. It confuses me sometimes.
It's tricky.
But I appreciate it all. So it's wonderful to hear. But
love Kanye more and more. It is very tricky.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Tricky.
Malcolm or Martin?
Malcolm.
Generational wealth or familial happiness?
Happiness.
Jay or Nas?
Jay.
Mac or Sephora?
Sephora, just because my girl likes Sephora.
Palestine or Israel?
Palestine.
In the light or in the dark?
In the light.
Prince or Michael?
Michael.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Marriage or long-term commitment?
Okay. Long-term commitment.
Ooh, Trader Joe's or Whole Foods?
Trader Joe's.
Voodoo or brown sugar?
Brown sugar.
Family or career?
God.
Shut up! Family or career?
Family.
A seat at the table or lemonade?
See at the table for sure.
Evolution or creationism?
Creationism.
Nicki or Cardi?
Nikki.
Ooh, jollof or rice and peas?
Rice and peas.
Missionary or doggy style?
Missionary.
Protection or pull out in prayer?
Protection.
Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic?
Uchi Wally Wally.
Is it black girl lost or shorty owe you for ice?
Show you ice.
You like that reference. Love Jones or Jason's lyric?
That's not fair. Two different movies, Love Jones.
Sir or Rumi?
I love TDE, sir. Let's go with that.
Oh, goofy. Lisa Bonet or Nia Long?
Ooh, Nia Long.
Bell Hooks or Audre Lorde?
Audre Lorde.
Make your girl a plate or have her get her own?
I made my girl play.
Nuck if you buck or Annie up?
Annie up just because of Remy Ma's verse on there.
You can't.
I'm sorry,
9/11, inside job or terrorist attack?
Terrorist attack.
Rihanna or Beyonce? Rihanna.
Beyonce.
Biggie or Pop?
Biggie.
Eric or Jill?
Jill.
Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
Angela Davis or Angela Rye? I hate that question.
Can you?
He said that last time too. Yeah. Angela Davis. That's not a comparison.
No, right. You got to go. Read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Sundress or sweatpants?
Sundress.
Toni Morrison or Alice Walker?
Toni Morrison, the blue side.
SWV or Escape?
SWV.
Lots of drums.
Drums.
Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Travel back in time, travel forward in time.
Travel back in time.
Buy socks or buy flights?
What is that?
Buy stocks or buy flights?
Flights.
Prove your point or pray for peace?
Prove my point.
Yeah, I was about to say you got that a lot. Insecure, Issa or Molly?
Issa.
The fun of your 20s or the quote unquote wisdom of your 30s? We gotta get rid of that too.
Wisdom of my 30s.
And finally, love and light or money and clits?
Money and clits.
Damn, Monty, you raggedy as fuck. All right, Monty, thank you so much. Now you know the man behind the scenes. The Wizard of Oz has been revealed. You are like the silent third host here. We bring you up a lot, running our mouths.
Good.
And we thank you. We honor you, Monty.
Thank you, Monty.
Thank you, and I appreciate you guys so much. I really, 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 really do. I want the best for you all the time. You guys are always in my head. So, Shanti, you better not quit. You better not get a 9 to 5. Don't do it.
Tell us, please.
I'm not hireable. The truth is, I'm unqualified.
She was hired. She saw the requirements and was like, actually, this is an
I go there
alignment.
when they tell me to go there.
Swipe left.
She said, wait, I don't get to make my schedule?
Yeah.
Can't
Fly
go.
for free.
Anyway, thank
all right,
you so
Monty,
much.
thank you. Get some rest. You just drank all that coffee, child. You're gonna be up all night.
I
Yes.
got things to do.
All right. Peace. Peace to the gods. You're supposed to say older than
Older
new.
than
Shanti.
new.
Older than new.
Thank you. Thank you. Damn. You don't want that tagline for nothing. All right. Thank you, Monty.
All right. No, I'm not supposed to leave yet, right?
Oh, yeah. Let me stop recording so it